South America whispers tales of ancient empires and jungles, but there are corners that remain hidden, waiting for the adventurous soul. I've always been drawn to these forgotten frontiers. I found one such place on the northern coast, Guyana. It's a name that might not ring a bell, and that's precisely its magic. A land defined by immense, untamed wilderness where nature reigns supreme. The journey promised a genuine adventure into a world that feels raw, powerful, and utterly alive. Imagine powerful waterfalls, vast savannas, and rainforests teeming with wildlife. This is the Guyana that called to me, a land of epic landscapes and profound natural beauty. My mission was simple: to journey deep into this green heart of South America and experience its wonders firsthand. Could a place so untouched by the modern world still exist? Flying into Guyana, the view is astonishing. An unbroken carpet of green. This is the Iwokrama Rainforest, one of the last pristine tropical forests on Earth, hiding a staggering amount of life. Guyana is often called the land of giants, home to giant river otters, anteaters, jaguars, arapaima, and harpy eagles. My journey will take me to the legendary Kaieteur Falls and the Rupununi Savannah. This is a land of extremes, of profound beauty. Let's begin our adventure into the wild, untamed heart of Guyana. Our journey to Kaieteur Falls begins in the air. The only way to reach the falls is by a small propeller plane. We took off from a small airstrip near Georgetown, leaving the city behind. Below, the world transformed into an endless sea of green. The flight itself is a core part of the adventure. We flew low, just a few hundred feet above the canopy. After about an hour, we spotted a faint plume of white mist rising from the depths of the green expanse. As we flew closer, the scale of what we were approaching began to dawn on me. The plane began its descent towards a small, remote airstrip carved out of the forest. Stepping out of the plane, the first thing that hit me wasn't a sight, but a sound. It was a low, deep, continuous rumble that seemed to vibrate through the very air and ground. This was the sound of millions of gallons of water plunging into a gorge, and our real journey was about to begin on foot. We followed our local guide, a quiet man from the Potaro indigenous community, along a narrow, muddy trail. The air was thick with humidity, and the sounds of the jungle were all around us. The chirps of unseen insects, the calls of exotic birds, and growing ever louder, the thunderous roar of the falls. With every step, the sound grew from a deep hum into an overwhelming roar that dominated everything. It was a sound of pure, raw power. It felt ancient and primal, a force of nature that had been shaping this landscape for millennia, long before any human had set foot here. The path was surrounded by unique flora. Our guide pointed out giant bromeliads, plants that collect water in their leaves, creating miniature ecosystems for tiny golden frogs no bigger than a thumbnail. He showed us carnivorous pitcher plants, patiently waiting to trap unsuspecting insects. This wasn't just a walk through the woods. It was a lesson in the incredible biodiversity that thrives in the waterfall's spray zone. The constant mist from the falls creates a unique microclimate, allowing specialized life forms to flourish here. It's a world within a world, all sustained by the great cascade nearby. Then, through a break in the trees, we got our first proper glimpse of the falls. And it stopped me dead in my tracks. It was simply breathtaking. The Potaro River, wide and dark brown, flowed calmly towards the edge before suddenly vanishing into a chasm. A colossal curtain of water, 741 feet high, plummeted into the abyss below. That's nearly 5 times the height of Niagara Falls. The sheer volume of water is immense, creating a spectacle of untamed force. It's not a gentle, pretty waterfall. It's a violent, awe-inspiring display of nature's might that commands your absolute respect. We stood there for a long time, just trying to take it all in. The sound was so loud it was hard to speak, but no words were necessary. We were completely mesmerized. The water falls with such force that it kicks up a massive cloud of mist, which billows hundreds of feet into the air, nourishing the surrounding forest. Rainbows formed and disappeared in the spray, adding a touch of magic to the raw power. This wasn't just a tourist attraction. It felt like a sacred place, a point where the earth itself seemed to be alive and breathing with incredible energy. Our guide led us to the main viewpoint, a flat, rocky outcrop right at the top of the falls. What's astonishing about Kaieteur is the complete lack of barriers. Nothing stands between you and the dizzying drop. You can peer over into the churning gorge below. It's a thrilling, slightly terrifying experience that connects you directly to the landscape. This is nature in its most unfiltered, raw, and magnificent state. The view was just staggering. I watched the water slide over the cliff in a solid, unbroken sheet before gravity took hold and it exploded downwards. This place feels like the edge of the world, so remote, so untouched, that it's easy to imagine you are the first person to ever witness it. It was just us, the jungle, and the waterfall. This solitude is part of what makes Kaieteur so special. You are immersed in it, a small part of this grand, epic scene. Seeing these small birds bravely navigate such a powerful force every single day was a poignant reminder of the resilience of life in this incredible ecosystem. It was a perfect end to a day spent in the presence of a true giant. Every great landmark has a story, and Kaieteur is no exception. Our guide shared with us the legend that gave the falls its name. The story belongs to the Potaro people, who have inhabited this land for centuries. He told us about a great chief named Kai, who loved his people deeply. When a rival tribe threatened to invade their lands, Kai knew his people were outnumbered and faced certain destruction. To appease the great spirit Makanema and save his tribe, he made the ultimate sacrifice. He paddled his canoe over the falls, giving his life for the good of his community. The name Kaieteur, our guide explained, means Kai's Fall in the local language. The waterfall is not just a geological feature, it is a sacred monument, a place of immense spiritual significance. It represents sacrifice, leadership, and the deep connection between the people and their land. Hearing this story while standing at the edge of the thundering cascade gave the place a whole new dimension of meaning. It wasn't just water and rock anymore. It was a living legend, a story etched into the landscape itself, passed down through generations of storytellers. This connection between culture and nature is something you find all over Guyana. The indigenous communities here don't see themselves as separate from the environment. They are a part of it. The forest provides their food, their medicine, and their shelter. The rivers are their highways. The animals and plants are woven into their spiritual beliefs and creation stories. Exploring Guyana is as much about understanding this human element as it is about seeing the spectacular scenery. The land is not an empty wilderness. It is a home, rich with history, culture, and ancient wisdom. As we prepared to leave Kaieteur, I felt a profound sense of gratitude. I was grateful for the chance to witness such unspoiled beauty, and for the trust placed in visitors to experience it without barriers. But I was also grateful for the stories. The legend of Kai reminds us that these landscapes are not just destinations to be ticked off a list. They are places with deep roots and powerful narratives that enrich our understanding of the world. Leaving the roar of the falls behind, I carried with me not just photographs, but a deeper appreciation for the powerful bond between a people and their sacred, thundering waterfall. Leaving Kaieteur Falls, we flew south into Guyana's interior. The rainforest canopy stretched out below, like a great green ocean. Then the landscape began to change. Patches of golden-brown terrain appeared. Soon we arrived in the Rupununi, a massive savanna. The contrast with the rainforest was staggering. We traded the jungle for immense space and endless skies. We landed on a dirt strip at a remote cattle ranch. Stepping out, the dry heat hit me immediately. This vast grassland is a world of its own. The Rupununi felt ancient and timeless. Our adventure shifted from the raw power of the waterfall to the quiet beauty of the savanna. The heart and soul of the Rupununi are the Vaqueros, the legendary Guyanese cowboys, descendants of early Scottish ranchers and local indigenous peoples. They're true masters of this challenging environment. We were welcomed at the ranch by Rohan, a Vaquero whose family had worked this land for generations. Life on the ranch is tough. The Vaqueros rise before the sun, their days filled with riding and herding cattle. They spend weeks out on the range. It's a life that requires incredible skill and resilience. Rohan offered to take us out on horseback, explaining it was the only true way to experience the savanna. We were enveloped by the sheer scale of the landscape. The feeling was one of complete liberation. This wasn't just a joyride. It was a lesson in how to read the land. It wasn't just a place of work for him, it was his home. I began to understand the deep connection between the Vaqueros and their wild, open range. Exploring the Rupununi is like being on a safari, but with a unique South American twist. The goal was to find one of the Rupununi's most iconic residents, the giant anteater. After an hour, we spotted a magnificent giant anteater. The Rupununi is a birdwatcher's paradise. We saw flocks of vibrant macaws flying overhead. As dusk fell, we took a boat trip on the Rupununi River. Here, we saw families of giant river otters. We also spotted black caiman lurking silently near the riverbanks. The animals are genuinely wild. Appreciate the subtle wonders of its vast open ecosystem. It's an experience that fosters a deep respect for the resilience of nature. To truly understand the Rupununi, you have to connect with its original inhabitants. Our journey took us from the ranch to the indigenous community of Rewa, a village of the Makushi people, located at the confluence of the Rupununi and Rewa rivers. This place is at the forefront of community-led conservation and ecotourism in Guyana. The village owns and operates a local eco-lodge, providing visitors with an authentic experience while ensuring that the benefits of tourism flow directly back into the community. It's a model for sustainable travel that is both inspiring and effective. We were welcomed with genuine warmth. The village is a collection of simple wooden houses, a school, and a community center, all nestled where the savannah meets the forest. Life here is deeply intertwined with nature. The villagers are expert fishermen, hunters, and farmers, possessing an encyclopedic knowledge of the local flora and fauna. They showed us how they use different plants for medicine, how they fish for the mighty arapaima, one of the world's largest freshwater fish, and how they live in balance with the surrounding wilderness. Their culture is built upon respect for the environment that sustains them. One evening we sat with the village elders and listened to their stories. They spoke of the jaguar as a powerful spirit, a creature to be respected and feared. They told us ancient tales of the creation of the rivers and the mountains, stories passed down through countless generations. This oral tradition keeps their culture alive and reinforces their connection to the land. It was a humbling experience to listen to this ancient wisdom, a perspective so different from my own. I realized that the knowledge held by these communities is just as valuable as any scientific study of the ecosystem. Leaving Rewa, I felt a renewed sense of hope. In a world where so many wild places are under threat, Rewa stands as a testament to the power of local communities to protect their own heritage. They are the true guardians of this incredible landscape. They understand its rhythms, its secrets, and its fragility better than anyone. My time in the Rupununi was more than just a wildlife adventure. It was a profound lesson in the human connection to nature. It showed me that the future of places like this lies in the hands of the people who call it home. From the Rupununi, our journey turned towards Mount Roraima. This tepui, a massive, flat-topped mountain with sheer cliffs, looks otherworldly. Its summit is perpetually shrouded in mist, adding to its mystery. Mount Roraima inspired Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's The Lost World. For the local Pemon and Makushi people, Roraima is a sacred place. Our approach to the mountain was a multi-day affair. The closer we got, the more imposing Roraima became. A grueling trek to reach the summit. The trek to Mount Roraima's summit is a true test, typically taking 6 days across rugged terrain. Our team included Pemon porters, whose strength and knowledge were invaluable. Without them, the journey would be impossible for most. The initial days took us across the savannah to the mountain's base. We crossed rivers, a brief respite from the heat. Roraima's immense cliff face grew larger, a reminder of the challenge ahead. The real climb began on day 3. The trail transformed into a steep, muddy path through cloud forest. The final push is the ramp, the only non-technical route to the top. Nearing the summit, the world disappeared into cloud. After hours of climbing, we reached the summit. We had reached the lost world. Stepping onto Mount Roraima's summit is like landing on another planet, no soil, just endless black sandstone sculpted into surreal shapes by eons of wind and rain. Our Pemon guide led us through this maze, revealing rare carnivorous plants and delicate flowers found nowhere else on Earth. The summit is littered with quartz crystals, sparkling in the mist sacred to the Pemon, believed to be the tears of ancestral gods. We camped beneath a rock overhang, shielded from the wind and rain, surrounded by silence and swirling mist. At night, the cold and quiet made the place feel timeless, as if ancient spirits still wandered these stones. The summit is more than a destination. It's a humbling spiritual experience that makes you reflect on your place in the world. Here, evolution's power is on full display, life adapting in isolation, thriving against the odds. The respect the Pemon hold for this land is contagious. You leave with a sense of reverence, not just memories. On Roraima, you're reminded how small you are in the vastness of Earth's story. The mountain changes you, leaving an indelible mark long after you descend. On our second summit day, we reached the legendary Crystal Valley, a shallow depression blanketed in quartz crystals, refracting light in every direction. Walking carefully, we marveled at the geological wonder formed by ancient hydrothermal activity. For the Pemon, this valley is sacred, a place where the energy of the crystals connects them to the spirit world. The silence here felt reverent, as if we'd entered a natural cathedral. As we prepared to descend, I realized the true treasure wasn't a crystal, but the memory of this magical place. Mount Roraima is a land of contrasts, harsh yet delicate, physically demanding yet spiritually peaceful. Its beauty and mystery linger, a privilege to witness and a responsibility to respect. I left with nothing in my pockets, but the mountain's magic stayed with me. Leaving Roraima's alien summit, we plunged into the lush Iwokrama rainforest, the vibrant, beating heart of Guyana. Iwokrama is one of the world's last pristine rainforests, a million-acre sanctuary for biodiversity and sustainable living. Our journey to the Iwokrama River Lodge was a bumpy immersion, the jungle's green walls and symphony of life enveloping us. The lodge, perched on the Essequibo River, felt like a frontier outpost, simple, welcoming, and alive with wildlife. Macaws screeched overhead, monkeys chattered in the canopy, and insects buzzed around the lights. Here you don't just see nature, you're part of it, woven into its complex web. Iwokrama's mission is unique, conservation and community, managed by the government and the Makushi people who have lived here for millennia. Their traditional knowledge is central to protecting the forest, making them both guardians and guides. This partnership ensures the forest's survival benefits both people and nature. My time here was about more than wildlife. It was about understanding how people and wilderness can thrive together. To truly experience the rainforest, you have to rise above it. Onto the Iwokrama Canopy walkway suspended over 100 feet in the air. Hiking through dense undergrowth, our Makushi guide pointed out medicinal plants and animal tracks before we climbed into the treetops. The walkway swayed beneath us, offering a bird's-eye view of a world usually hidden from the ground. Up here, we watched howler monkeys, toucans, and even a camouflaged sloth, life thriving in the sunlit canopy. The forest revealed its secrets, a bustling metropolis of creatures, each layer teeming with unique life. Hours passed as we watched the jungle shift from midday brightness to golden dusk. The canopy walkway transforms your perspective, showing the rainforest as a complex, multi-layered ecosystem. It's a reminder of nature's genius, intricate, interconnected, and endlessly surprising. From above, you see the rainforest not just as trees, but as a living, breathing world. The Essequibo River is the forest's lifeline, a highway for wildlife and people alike. At dusk, we set out by boat, the jungle's chorus intensifying as we searched for elusive creatures. Red eyes glowed on the banks, a black caiman, one of many ancient predators lurking in the dark. Our real quest was the jaguar, the forest's ghost, but sightings are rare, and patience is essential. Instead, we encountered capybaras grazing, a boa constrictor waiting in silence, and the haunting call of the potu bird. The rainforest rewards quiet observation, not instant gratification. The next day we found a family of giant river otters, playful, endangered, and thriving thanks to Iwokrama's protection. Watching them was a testament to the success of conservation here. Protecting these rivers is as vital as preserving the land. They're the arteries of this wild world. Every encounter was a reminder of the delicate balance that sustains this extraordinary place. Iwokrama is more than a wilderness. It's a living laboratory where science and tradition meet. We met researchers studying frog calls, using them as indicators of the forest's health. Tourism here funds conservation, and local Makushi guides double as parabiologists, blending traditional knowledge with modern science. This partnership empowers the community and ensures the forest's survival. The Makushi have lived here for generations, their understanding of the land essential to its protection. Iwokrama proves that conservation thrives when local people are at its heart. It's a model of respect and collaboration, showing that people in wilderness can benefit each other. Leaving Iwokrama, I felt hopeful. A glimpse of a future where forests are valued for their life, not just their resources. The true wealth of the rainforest lies in keeping it standing, for all who depend on it. Our journey took us from Guyana's jungles to the wild Atlantic coast and Shell Beach. Not your typical Caribbean beach. This is raw, untamed wilderness, mudflats and mangrove swamps. Getting there is an adventure. A small plane took us north from Georgetown. Then a motorboat was our only transport. The boat ride was long, the water brown with sediment. For hours we saw only ocean and mangroves. There were no signs of human life. This isolation makes Shell Beach special. We pulled the boat ashore. The sense of peace was immediate. We had arrived at a wild frontier, ready to reveal its secrets. Shell Beach is made of countless tiny shells pulverized by the waves. Ocean currents have deposited trillions of shells here, creating this unique coastline. Whole, unbroken shells form thick beds. The beach is a stark and dramatic landscape, wide and flat. Twisted, sun-bleached driftwood lies scattered across the beach. It's not conventionally pretty, but its raw, wild beauty is captivating. This is a place of solitude. There was no electricity, no running water, no internet connection. I simply watched the world. As evening approached, the sky put on a breathtaking show. With no light pollution, the sunset was spectacular. It was a moment of pure, natural beauty. A deep sense of peace comes from being immersed in the wild. We traveled to this remote corner of Guyana to witness one of nature's most moving spectacles. Shell Beach is one of the most important nesting sites in the world for 4 different species of marine turtles. Every year, these creatures travel thousands of miles to return to these beaches to continue the cycle of life. As darkness fell, our guide led us onto the beach. We walked in silence using red-filtered flashlights. Then, a dark shape emerged, a leatherback, the largest of all sea turtles. We watched as it dug a deep nest chamber. Once the nest was ready, the turtle began to lay her eggs. After laying her eggs, she made her slow journey back to the sea. Witnessing the nesting turtle was a powerful reminder of their fragility. They face threats like plastic pollution, fishing nets, poaching, and habitat destruction. Their future depends on conservation efforts, like the vital work on this remote coastline. The guardians of the turtles are the local Amerindian communities, working with conservation organizations to protect nesting sites. Rangers patrol beaches, tag turtles, and relocate eggs to a protected hatchery. The communities have embraced their role as protectors, realizing the turtles are worth more alive. This shift is a conservation success story, demonstrating the power of empowered local communities. We witnessed baby turtles released, facing a perilous journey with slim odds. Watching them disappear into the ocean was a moment of profound hope. My journey through Guyana has come to an end, but the memories of its landscapes will stay with me forever. This is a country that defies easy description. It is a place of staggering contrasts and profound beauty, a land that feels ancient and yet vibrantly alive. From the thunderous power of Kaieteur Falls to the serene, endless horizons of the Rupununi Savannah, each stop on this adventure revealed a different facet of its wild soul. I have been privileged to witness a world where nature still holds dominion, powerful and untamed. Then there was the deep immersion in the Iwokrama Rainforest, the green heart of the nation, and finally the wild, remote beauty of Shell Beach, where I watched ancient sea turtles heave themselves ashore under the stars to continue a cycle of life as old as time itself. Each experience was unique, yet they were all connected by a common thread: the feeling of being in a place that is genuinely, authentically, and unapologetically wild. Guyana is not a simple holiday destination, it is an expedition. The rewards, however, are immeasurable. It is a masterpiece of the natural world. It is the people of Guyana who leave the most lasting impression. I found a deep, abiding connection between the people and their land. This is not a wilderness devoid of humanity. It is a home, cherished and protected. This journey has filled me with a profound sense of hope. Guyana stands as a powerful example of what can be achieved through community-led conservation and thoughtful ecotourism. They are lessons for the entire world, showing that a sustainable future is possible. Go to Guyana. In return, Guyana will give you gifts that no luxury resort ever could. My travels here have come to a close, but the call of Guyana's wild heart will echo within me for a long time. This hidden gem of South America is a precious treasure. It is our collective responsibility to ensure that its forests thrive for generations to come.